We get these kind of questions a lot regarding 482 visas work experience calculation to be eligible for the PR 186 visa. And I want to discuss a couple of different scenarios and see if any of those scenarios fits your particular circumstance right now, and maybe it can help you as well. So this particular question, let's say this is scenario 1, where they're asking how do you calculate the work experience on your 482. Is it from the work start date, as in the work start date from your current employer, or is it from the visa grant date? So the right answer is the 482 work experience, which is 2 years to be eligible for 186 TRT, is the start date of your visa grant. Given that you are going to start your work and on the very start date of your visa grant, or whenever you start your work with the employer after the grant of 482. So some people are already working with the employers and they are waiting for the 482 grant. So you cannot count the days you have spent working with the employer before the 482 grant. It's only counted after the 482. Let's suppose scenario 2, where you're coming from overseas after the grant of your 482, and while preparing to come to Australia and all, you lost 1 or 2 months of your 482 visa. Then you'll be short by 1 or 2 months to make that 2 years on your 482. In that scenario, you have no other option but to apply for another 482. However, the time on your bridging visa while you wait for the grant of the new 482 can be counted to make it the 2 years for 186. So meaning, let's say you've applied for another 482, you're only short by 2 months, and let's suppose the 482 takes 3-4 months to be granted. And after 2 months of applying for 482, if you have completed the 2 years on your 482 altogether, including the bridging visa on your second 482, you can count that and apply for 186, and you can withdraw the 482. Let's look at the third scenario, where you have changed your employers on your 482 visa. So let's, for an example, suppose that you have worked with your first employer for a year, and after a year you switched to another employer. So obviously you have to put in a new nomination for the new employer, and the time period on your first employer and second employer combined, so the total of 2 years. After the 2 years, you can apply for the 186. You don't have to work a full 2 year with the new employer. Now, all these scenarios were for subclass 186 TRT, the transition stream, not the direct stream. So if you think you are eligible for directly applying for 186, the PR visa, meaning you have the skill assessment, you have full 3 years of full-time or part-time equivalent work experience to be eligible to apply for 186, then go ahead. You can apply for 186 direct entry. You do not need to be on 482 for 2 years. So remember, there's 2 different stream, direct stream and TRT stream on 186 visa. So make sure you are referring to the right stream. Now let's just talk about another scenario where you are already on a 482 visa, let's say for a year and a half, and you now have completed the whole 3 years of work experience. Can you apply for 186 direct entry? Not the TRT, but the direct stream, because now you have completed 3 years. Well, the answer is yes. Given that your employer is willing to sponsor you again within a year or so for 186 direct entry, then yes, you can apply for it.